Hey there, and welcome to a new album today. And I'm in an attempt to not repeat too many bands. And okay, yesterday was a bit of an outlier because I just kept listening to Trivium. But today we actually have another band from the early 2000s, and we have Mudvayne. Now, technically speaking, I didn't explicitly name them, but I did do a review of the Need for Speed Underground 2 soundtrack, and one of the songs was from Mudvayne, called Determined, which ironically is the song that actually opens this album. Now, outside of that song, the only other song I've heard is Happy, as it's a pretty well-known song. But yeah, outside of that, I haven't really listened to any other song from them, so this was pretty much, well, I mean, I have listened to a couple of other songs, but not from this album. So yeah, the entire album was a bit of a question mark for me, because I hadn't heard it. And yes, we're listening to Lost and Found, in case you don't know. Determined and Happy, they're part of Lost and Found. I guess I found the songs, but yeah, this is actually like the fourth studio album, I think, something like that. Actually, Mudvayne hasn't really put out anything. This is truly one of those super big in the 2000s, and then they kind of like disappeared because, well, yeah, I don't know. A lot of bands, especially at the turn of the 2010s, especially as the music started evolving, and especially as it's moving away from the more heavier sound and much more focus on an electronic sound, a lot of bands kind of quote-unquote fell off. And, you know, a lot of problems between the bands or between the band members and everything. Yeah, but basically, they've put out quite a few albums in the 2000s, and this is one of them. And if you don't know Mudvayne, the best way I can describe it is imagine Slipknot, but the rock instead, right? Because, like, essentially, they have the same energy as Slipknot, and throughout this entire album, every single song is like in your face high energy, right? It never leads up. So it feels like Slipknot in that regard, but instead of being that heaviness and that chaos that Slipknot sort of brings to the table, it's a bit more on the rock side of things. But basically, if Slipknot is, you know, Metallica but completely chaotic and in your face, Mudvayne is like Breaking Benjamin, but chaotic and in your face, right? Essentially, that's the best way I can describe it, because this is more of a hard rock necessarily than metal. Trivium, for example, is more metal, especially when it comes to the sound that they have. So yeah, this is more on the rock side. Even I would even say, especially with some of the singing here, because there's kind of like rapping going on. So I would even say that it's like new metal. I think Mudvayne probably fits new metal more than they fit like hard rock, I guess. But yes, it's very much the 2000s aggressiveness, in your face, who cares, right? Now, Mudvayne is a bit unique because their style is heavily contributed to when it comes to the bass. I think that, I mean, yesterday I was talking about the bass when it came to Trivium, but yeah, the bass in this band just goes way too hard and it dictates way too much of the songs. Like, the bass pretty much is at the, well, quote-unquote base of a lot of the songs, and just dictates a lot of the pace and dictates a lot of the just vibe that the song has, and a lot of the rhythms and everything. It's actually really great. Again, it's one of those cases where I actually love being able to hear the bass in the songs, because again, this is not something they can always do, and in some here it's just super clear. You know, in a way, it does again remind me of Trivium's bassist. I think it's sort of, you know, in the same registry of the job that they have in the band, of how much they actually set and bring everything together, especially, right? Because look, this band could be completely chaotic, but I think what makes it sound good is exactly the existence of the bass. I think if you take bass from Mudvayne away, especially in this album, I think that a lot of the songs just sound way worse from a quality perspective. So yeah, the bass is doing very, very fucking heavy lifting here. But yeah, other than that, the singer is probably the other thing that I kind of like noted when I was listening to this, which was it's a bit like it's basically Corey Taylor, but it's like the rapping songs that Slipknot have. So, you know, like basically it's never clean, by the way. Like the singer never cleans, or never cleans, wow, never sings in a clean manner. Is always like this sort of fried type singing. I mean, it's like singing, rapping type thing, but all fried. You know, it's actually really funny, but it's also really cool. It actually does a very good job at conveying this super chaotic, in your face type singing. And I think that outside of the bass, the singing is what contributes to that chaotic feeling, and that very high energy, very, all over the place. It feels like, they are just there, and you have to sort of pay attention to them, and sort of this spotlight that makes them unique. I think that the singer here does like a really good job. I think that probably out of every single review I've done so far, especially when it came to metal bands, I probably have not found a singer that was this unique. I think the only other one was I don't remember his name, but it was the one from Faith No More. Like, I think those were like the two singers that really just made the albums type thing and made the bands type thing very unique. Not that, other singers from other metal bands, not that those aren't talented or whatever, right? But in terms of like defining a band's sound, I think that when it comes to this album and when it comes to Mudvayne, the singer defines a lot of the sound. Like, it's very unique how he sort of sings rap, or like sings and raps, with like sort of this fried voice, and when you put that alongside the bass, I think it just does such a great job at creating sort of this uniqueness in a lot of the sound. So, color me impressed, honestly. But yeah. Outside of that, the album's pretty solid. I was actually interested to see how there was a song that was 8 minutes long, so that was interesting. Unfortunately, there is a little bit. How do I put this? There's a little bit of the outro. I think that it's perhaps a little bit too extended for my taste, but I guess it's completely fine. And I think there's one song here, if I remember which one it is. Is it "Forget to Remember"? There's I don't know, there's one song that is more on the, sort of ballad side of things that, doesn't have, I guess, the same registry of the album. Although I would say Happy is probably a better, I guess, emotional song. Happy here fulfills the same vibe as, Until the World Goes Cold from yesterday, or from 2 days ago rather, but it's essentially the same registry where it's like, yes, it's heavy, but it's that, like, if I were to name any quote-unquote emo song from this album, it would be Happy, for sure, right? But yeah, outside of that, honestly, it's pretty good. Like, I don't have much to say, because if I'm gonna say one thing about a lot of the songs is, a lot of them blended together. Like, a lot of them just sort of, kind of went from one to the other, to the other, to the other, and sometimes I didn't even realize that it was a different song. The only reason as why I knew it was a different song is because I usually listen to this on YouTube. That's where I listen to most of my songs. Sometimes I can't, but mostly on YouTube. So, you get ads because I don't have a good ad blocker or whatever. So I still get ads. And let me just tell you, like, yeah, basically, the only way that I knew that the songs were actually changing was because I would get the ads. Because otherwise, like, the song just sort of blend together. I mean, again, it's not necessarily all bad, because in a way, if the album is good and the sounds are good, it doesn't really matter that they all kind of like quote unquote sound the same, right? Because the sound is just solid overall, right? But it is that problem of, you have heard the song and you pretty much have heard all of them. Again, like, outside of the two quote-unquote outliers on Happy, and I think it is Forget to Remember, but I'm actually forgetting quite a bit. I think it's those two songs. Outside of those two, pretty much every single other song kind of sounds the same. But yeah, overall, very enjoyable. I think it's a very interesting piece of new metal, especially. I mean, technically Slipknot are also considered new metal, so yeah, I mean, but yes, basically pretty good album, pretty fucking solid band, and my vibe meter right now, it's like on an 8 out of 10, so I'm gonna go with that. So, Lost and Found, 8 out of 10, and I'll see you tomorrow with another new band, because I'm trying to not repeat too much, but I will eventually finish some of the bands that I've been doing, because I really want to, like, go through some bands' entire discography.